Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine and Real Estate.
Oui, bonsoir tout le monde.
So tonight, this event is brought you by Streetwise Mortgages. Streetwise is a multi-award-winning mortgage brokerage that services real estate investors across Ontario. If you're looking to grow a real estate portfolio to replace your income, supplement retirement, and enhance your overall returns, the Streetwise team can help you develop a financing roadmap to scale up.
Yeah,
Do you want to continue?
They cover everything: capital sources to deal structure, to opportunities, to maximize your borrowing power, to mapping out your future financing.
Streetwise works both with clients who are starting out on their investment journey, as well as sophisticated investors with multi-million-dollar portfolios. They have access to capital sources, including traditional, alternative, and private funds, and they're well-versed with the various investment strategies, including buy and hold, buy, renovate, rent, refinance, the BRRRR, multi-residential, rent-to-own, assignments, construction financing, and student rentals.
Yeah, you can actually book a complimentary planning session with Streetwise Income Property Advisor. You just have to go to streetwisemortgages.com.
Or email the team at info@streetwisemortgages.com. And just to let you know, we work with Streetwise all the time. How many deals did we close with them this week?
He asks me that every single time since we've started
No,
having them
this
as a
week.
sponsor. Oh, this week two?
Two.
Okay, I thought he was going to ask me how many deals we've done with them. And he asks us that every time since they've started sponsoring us, and we've never sat down and count. So,
But we did two this week. There you go.
Two this week. That's
So
right.
tonight we're really excited. We have Angela and Joey from Montreal, and really excited to hear about their journey. We learned a lot similar stuff than what we're doing. So joint ventures, they quit their jobs, all kinds of things. You guys have a family, so welcome, and let's drink to this.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, thanks.
Yes. So you guys you said you're both drinking scotch tonight.
Yes, we
That's
are.
nice.
Single malt, or I don't know, it's whiskey. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
whiskey.
about Scotch. It's blended.
Yeah. But the key point is that it's carb free.
Oh. Okay, well, wine.
You
Yeah,
guys are keto?
I am.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I need to keto for like 20 years to get rid of this.
It's part of your charm.
Yes, and we're definitely not to keto. We're drinking a Gewürztraminer, which is actually kind of a medium dry wine, so it's
Very
it's
sweet.
enough. Yeah,
Lots of sugar.
So we're so looking forward to hearing about your story. Why don't you guys introduce yourself for those that are listening and who don't know who you are?
So I am the Angela, and this is the Joey of the Angela.
Thanks for clearing that up.
I've been real estate investing for 17 years.
Wow.
We've been together for 9.
Going on
And
10.
since we've been together, we've been, working full-time jobs for the most part, while building a real estate portfolio and renovating and short-term rentals and doing the whole gamut. I'm from New Brunswick. He's from Brooklyn, and we live in Laval.
Excellent. Do you invest in Quebec or just out of province?
In Quebec and in New Brunswick.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're our first that invest in Quebec. We're not super familiar, even though we speak French, but we're not Quebecois, so we're not too familiar with the market. I know there's a lot of differences and things like laws, and maybe we can get into that fun stuff.
From what I hear, it's pretty similar to investing in Ontario. I think the tenant-landlord rules are similar.
It's tough.
Okay.
It's tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like this. No,
Yeah.
if you have good tenants, I'm sure
Yeah.
you can make it work. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like everywhere, it's been a weird ride negotiating the short-term rental laws as well. And
yes.
1 week it's this way, 1 week it's that way, blah, 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 blah. So that's been a lot of fun too. But we initially thought that that's what was going to be our route and decided it was too much of a risky business. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially, I don't know if it's the case in Quebec, but in Ontario, there was quite a while where like short-term rentals weren't allowed.
Yeah, and then the cities start cracking down. Then you need licensing. Then they don't want certain neighborhoods. Then the neighbors don't want you doing it. Then you have to live with the people. So it's just nuts. You never know what to expect anymore.
That's a summary of our 5 years of short-term rentals right there.
Yeah.
We knew the writing was on the wall, really. We had a triplex in downtown Montreal that we were renting out short-term also. And when they started designating St. Catharines like was going to be the only street that you could do short-term rental, every so many blocks and something, and we're like, okay, this is going to get crazy. We better get
Yeah.
Oh yeah, too complicated.
The loophole, like here is like what we call a midterm, so 28 days. So you're not a long-term, you're not short-term.
Yeah.
That is allowed, and there's almost no regulation around it. So
Similar here, but in some municipalities, they have special laws that they've enacted where it's a 3-month minimum or 2-month.
oh
minimum.
wow.
Yeah. Especially in cottage country. Yeah.
Here people are getting creative. So they do the 28 days, but then they reimburse the person for a part of it. And that way they get around like 2 weeks.
I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Well, I don't know anyone who does it. Everybody's really good that we know.
Okay.
Some
Everybody
people.
does that. So how did you get into real estate investing?
Sorry?
How did you get into real estate investing?
Well,
It was really the cottage ultimately.
Well, no, I started 17 years ago when my roommate kicked me out of our apartment, which we loved very much. So I moved in with her. We lived on St. Denis. We had a really nice place. And then she got back together with her boyfriend and said that they wanted to live together. So I had to move out. So I bought a duplex in NDG.
Oh,
I
cool.
think I was 25. It was in 2004. And I had to borrow money from my friends to buy it because I didn't have enough. So I borrowed $5,000 from one friend and $5,000 from another. She put it on her visa. So I came up with it. And I wrote them both. I wrote them both promissory notes saying that they could each have my car if I didn't pay them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was very creative.
That was the first bit. And it was really not a very nice duplex. We had to renovate it. And so we lived through that, renovated upstairs, lived through that. That was the beginning. I would show up to work full of dust all the time.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. So how did you end up going from there to now? I think you guys are both doing this full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do we begin?
Well, I think I kind of arrived in the picture when Angela had a house in Lachine and her triplex. I was a bit more of a hippie and working in the plateau, and I arrived in Lachine, and we were just a happy family. We had a child on the way, and when our son was 2 years old, we started skiing with him, and he took to it so much.
Really?
And we loved it so much that we started going every weekend, and we was like, all right, we need to get a ski chalet.
Okay.
So we started shopping for our first cottage, and we didn't really like the prices of what they were asking for. A chalet. So I said, if we're going to pay that price, it better have a lake. So we started looking for a place that we could use all year round.
And just by the way, our definition of lakes, our definitions are very different. He found a place that he loved, which had a little pond, and he convinced me that we could swim in it. So we finally found one that satisfied both of our needs.
Yeah, we looked at so many places, and it was hard, to find a place that was on an actual lake.
Yeah.
The price was so high. And when you found places that were close to a lake that maybe had a smaller pond thing, so much more value you could get for your money. So let's get this thing, this one looks really good. Not too much work. Not too much work. That's mainly what I was looking at. I didn't want a big project, right? But we ended up getting a big project.
Because when we met, he had already been doing renovations. That was his job. He was doing renovations.
Oh, cool. That goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
He was very good. And then he moved into the house in Lachine, and he totally beautified it. He gave us brand new yard with a fence and pave driveway and built a shed in the back and took all the stucco off of my walls. He made it really nice. So it was a good match from the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
And then how were you able to scale, buy the next property? So you bought a house, then you have a cottage, a duplex, triplex. a cottage? Did you refinance, or how
Yeah.
did you, more visa or?
Always. There was always visa involved. For some reason, every time we bought a new place, there was refinancing and there was maxing out the credit cards.
Yeah.
So, so then, we bought the cottage, but we couldn't really afford it. So we
You were renting.
decided to Airbnb it while we weren't using it.
Okay.
That was like a good almost 6 years ago, where Airbnb
was
was
allowed.
really starting to get popular and things were kind of picking up. And
That's good time.
we listed it, we cleaned it up. It didn't have that much character. We saw the vision for it, but it didn't have a lot of character, and we didn't have a lot of money. So we just kind of spruced it up.
Garage sale.
lot of
Everything from
garage
garage
sale.
sale and Kijiji.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we were so shocked. Like, we put it up on Airbnb, and the whole summer got rented basically up until Christmas. And we were like, oh my God, we're never going to get to use this cottage. We want to use it, right? So I had the bright idea of renting our house in Lachine on the weekends while we were at the cottage.
Yeah, why not?
Right. So we're like, okay, let's list the house. And I was thinking at the time, it's Lachine. It's not exactly the plateau. So it's not going to rent that much, like maybe once in a while here and there. And every weekend we would list available, it would be rented like right away. So
Really?
we ended
Wow.
up being able to rent
Yeah.
the house more than we were renting the cottage, and we got to use the cottage more.
Cool. And how do you prepare a house for that? Because I was curious about it. We're thinking about being maybe
You have
snowbirds.
to lock up your private things, or how do you
Yep.
do that?
We never did that. I
Well,
mean,
we put them away.
we put some stuff away, and we're getting better at this because when we go to New Brunswick this summer, we're renting our house on Airbnb.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at this point, I suppose we've acquired some things that we care a little bit more about. So we're a little bit more.
We're a
But
bit more jaded now with the short
and
term.
we've had stuff ruined, and we've had stuff stolen, and we've had. I mean, really, you can't predict what's going to
No.
happen when you're renting your place, and
Yeah.
when it's your personal home with your belongings, it's a little bit different than when it's your cottage, which was
Yeah.
meant for that in the first place. But
At least what we're doing here for the summer is it's 2 rentals, 2 different families.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be a bunch of short-term rentals that
Yeah,
are,
not weekends, one
Yeah.
after the other. And
yeah.
that's just too crazy.
So we were having success renting the cottage and the house, and one of the tenants left in the triplex. So we decided to renovate that and furnish it and rent that on Airbnb.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, cool.
And then the same thing happened to the downstairs unit.
And then we did the downstairs
we did,
unit.
did the
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we were basically living at whichever place was the last one to not be rented. So whichever one was available is where we would live through a summer anyways. It wasn't like that for a whole year. But
Yeah.
I think it was more than a summer. We would go from unit to unit with our cooler and our dog and our toddler
Oh, my.
while working full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And managing short-term rentals. And
Wow.
and we didn't back in those days, we didn't always have cleaning crews. So we had to
You
clean
clean.
before
Oh.
and after sometimes.
Yeah.
And
So you thought we were crazy. That's nothing. You guys are really crazy.
you ask what you have to do to prepare your house for that. And I just
Yeah.
feel like we skimmed over something that needs to be discussed. Like every weekend before we would leave our house to go to the cottage, every Thursday night was stressful. Thursday night we had to get
Getting stuff ready, whatever.
all of the laundry
cleaning
done,
sheets
everything put
all
away.
that stuff.
We had to do all of that stuff Friday, get up for work because the cleaners were coming to the house Friday during the day. And oh my God, what are we going to do with the dog while we're at work? I would bring the dog to work.
Oh, my.
Oh my goodness.
Who's bringing the cooler to work?
Yeah, because the check-in time was like 3:00, and often they'd want to arrive earlier or whatever the case was.
We wouldn't be home from work in time, so we would have to really. So preparing just for that is a lot. Which so
Wow.
we don't really go through that anymore. It was a lot.
So
So
it's good for a
that-
time.
yeah, that time we were going from place to place was special. We enjoyed it a little bit. Like it was fun to go from living downtown, close to the Jazz Fest, to Lachine to the cottage. I mean, it was kind of a nice
Yeah.
scenery. Regular.
Rotation.
Our son was loving it too. He's like, "Oh, we're in the triplex. Oh,
Yeah.
we're in the house.
And
Oh, we're in the cottage."
He would say to people, "We have 5 houses."
Wow.
So the problem arose when Joey rented everything and we would have no place to stay.
Oh, you're
Oh,
homeless.
you
You
were
have to
homeless.
put up a tent in the backyard.
No, put up
Yeah,
a tent.
It happened once by mistake the first time, but then it was like, well, let's just go camping. You know, I like going camping. Angela doesn't like that camping.
I hope Angela likes to camp as well.
No.
No, it didn't work.
I gave it a try, but I mean, we didn't just go camping. We went canoe camping.
Yeah, I like
We
camping.
had to
Oh.
go, and we had to get on a canoe with our screaming child who was terrified of it because your sister tipped over the canoe last time he was in one, and the dog in the canoe and the cooler.
Yeah, I like adventure.
Oh my goodness, that's really insane.
Wasn't my idea of a good time. So we decided actually, because we really wanted to put a lot of work into the big cottage. And I say the big because since then we bought another one. But we wanted to put a lot of work into the cottage. So we decided with hesitation to rent out everything for a whole summer and stay with his parents.
Oh, wow.
Because that first year that we did it, we made so much money, so much extra money. And it was, we're like, okay, let's do that again. And we can finish the renovations at the cottage and that'll be it. But yeah, it wasn't it.
Oh, you guys are still together. That's a good sign.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So that summer at his parents, I mean, it was tough on us for many reasons. So we ended up renting a place in Lachine. Our house was 3 doors down from the place that we rented.
Oh, no. You can keep an eye on it, I guess.
Yeah, well, Charlie's daycare was up the street. So one of
Oh.
the challenges of living with his parents was it was quite a trek to take him to daycare and then go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
So, you know what they say about entrepreneurialism? You have to do a few years of things that, or maybe it's 1 year. Anyway, maybe we did too much.
We did a few.
You
have
went
to
too far, guys.
be willing to do things that people wouldn't do so that you can enjoy things that, other people don't get to enjoy. So we put our time in, let's say.
Yes, it sounds like it for sure. Wow.
But you still learn some valuable lessons, like this summer going to New Brunswick, renting out your house. That's really smart, and it's a longer term, so you
Yeah.
prepare once, and when you come back once. Like every weekend, that's a lot. But once for the summer, like 2 months or whatever, that's really cool, and that is really smart. I know a lot of people did that for vacation exchanges in Europe, so people were swapping houses. Similar concept, you're paying someone for an Airbnb and you're creating an Airbnb out of your house. So how do you manage that with Revenu Québec and all those lovely people? How does it work with the accounting?
It's been really great, actually. We've declared everything. And even though there were a lot of profits, there was a lot of expenses. So it didn't cost
Not bad.
us any. Yeah, it was
Oh, that's
pretty
good.
straightforward. Yeah, we had a lot of expenses. So it really weighed everything.
Yeah, and you can expense. That's what people don't realize. You can expense tons, like us, like even wine and stuff. But you use it for advertising. Sometimes for Airbnb, you put a bottle of wine for your guests.
Yeah.
It's like a wine package, and
Mhm.
yeah, so that's something. So wow, okay, really cool. You have a good accountant as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus the cleaning adds up.
hmm
Cleaning your house every week and then cleaning the chalet and cleaning the triplex and cleaning everything all the time.
And you want everything like
Wow.
prime, like you want fresh towels, so new towels and new sheets. You don't want like anything stained or old. And
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of buying stuff.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm sure it adds up. So are you doing short-term rentals also in New Brunswick?
No, just at our cottages. We have 2 cottages.
Oh, okay. So you don't own properties in New Brunswick as well?
Yeah, we do, but
We
they're
do.
long term.
Oh, they're long-term.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
They're like standard year-long leases.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. In what area are you investing in New Brunswick?
Moncton and Riverview.
Okay, like us.
Excellent.
Oh, okay. And is that because that's where you're from, Angela?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, I have a cousin who. Do you ever work with From Cottage to Castle?
No, I've
No.
heard their name. A home inspector, I
Yeah.
think.
So he works for them. We have a contractor. We have property manager. So we kind of have people set up there already. And my family is there. Like today, my sister took a bottle of scotch over to our property manager because he had some tough stuff to do this week. And
Oh no.
Mm.
so it's nice having family there, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure it
Yes.
helps a lot. And then you have that peace of mind, since it's so far away and you couldn't even go during COVID.
Yeah. And you don't want to, as investors, I mean, you don't want to drive up there. It's quite a hike from Montreal, or us from Ottawa. It's like 11 hours. So it's not practical. And I don't know how you guys are, but when I have local properties, I am a bit of a control freak. I end up going and checking on things. So if they're too far, I can't. So it's really good. Well, I still end up going, but anyway, I try to go less often.
Yes, he did
Yeah,
go.
no, it was good about having a property so far away. Is just we knew from day one we are going to have property managers, and we could be a little bit hands off. We can still be super involved in all the planning and everything, but step back a bit from the day to day and just focus on the finances.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and where you
perfect.
bring the value. And I think that's something you guys do a lot of joint ventures, from what I understand, or you do some. And that's where you get the bigger money. It's not managing day to day, like rent collection and that fun stuff. So, and then you get to pay the Scotch bottles. Keep your receipt for your accounting.
So yeah, we're in the process now of putting systems in place. I just downloaded Dext yesterday. I don't know if you guys use that, but it's a
Nope.
receipt tracking system.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely need that. You
Yeah,
should see
I
our
need-
table right now. We have
It's
receipts
covered in
everywhere.
receipts. I can like sprinkles.
It's everywhere, yes. But
Yeah.
how do you find the property management in Moncton? Like, have you had challenges, or has it been smooth sailing?
Well, so far I think we got really lucky with this individual, John Jamer. Awesome guy.
He's
Very
also an
attentive.
agent.
And he's the agent. He's one of our agents that we use. Yeah.
I spoke with him. He was super friendly. I was telling Jennifer, I'm like, yeah, this guy seems really nice. So
We really like him. And he's also from Newcastle, New Brunswick, where my whole dad's side of the family is from. So yesterday I was mentioning people and he was like, oh yeah, I know that person and I know that person.
Oh,
and that's
cool.
important because it's a smaller community. So like for us in Ottawa, it's anyway, maybe Laval is a bit different, but we tend not to know very few of our neighbors, and depends. I mean, some people are more friendly, I guess, than we are, but normally I don't know my neighbors. I don't know anybody. It's like an Airbnb. We live there. So
I like
community.
to.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry to cut you. No, for me that's really important, and we established that where we live here, and we
Yeah.
have that in Lachine too. And what became really difficult for us in Lachine was doing the short-term rentals. Our house became a hotel, and it was hard on the neighbors.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
That knowing that they were unhappy with that situation brought us to sell the home, actually, because
Oh, wow.
really?
we didn't like them being unhappy with that.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, good neighbor relationship. It's like putting up a fence. You hear those horror stories. People want to put up a fence and the neighbor, anyway, doesn't agree or certain things. So it can go sour quickly. And
Well, we had moved out, and I mean, we bought our current house. It was meant to be an investment property, but we ended up buying a house that we moved to, and we were renting the Lachine house out short term with constant turnover for a full year there before they started to really complain to us that, we didn't move in to be beside a hotel, like,
yeah,
you're right. Sorry, we didn't even realize. And then we put it up for sale not so long after.
Yeah.
and I think that's why a lot of cities are cracking down on the Airbnb, is this constant turnover. And I agree, like I wouldn't like it myself.
Yeah.
And some people are not discreet about it. Like there's huge signage and you see all kinds of cars and things. But some people are really good as well. Like I heard at the Right Club, we held an event a week or two ago about short-term rentals. And the people had really smart systems like sound detectors. So if the sound is too loud after 9 p.m., they can actually use an intercom and tell people like to turn it down remotely. It's kind of scary, but it was smart.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Had we had cool stuff like that.
No, but there's so many other things that come along with it. Like, Lachine is like any sort of close to downtown Montreal home where everything's pretty close together and driveways are pretty close together. So when renters arrive, they block the neighbor's driveway.
Oh, yes.
And maybe not even for an hour or two, like for overnight. And then he's got to go to work, and he's got to go knocking on doors to wake people up, and nobody wakes up, and then he's screaming. get out of my driveway, you know, like, and then the other neighbors get up and they see this and there's a commotion and blah, blah, blah. Cops called for other reasons. And yeah, it's not just the noise. It's all the other things that come around with people arriving to a place that they don't really know and do silly things and they don't consider the neighbors because they don't see them as neighbors. So yeah, it was better to just get
away from it.
Oh.
And can you tell us more about joint ventures? So I think some of your New Brunswick properties are joint ventures, if you're okay with sharing the information.
Yeah, sure. So let me see here. After we decided to focus on this full time, we didn't exactly know what the strategy was going to be. Like our first attempt was like we dove in first to doing the short-term rental thing on a bigger scale.
Okay.
So we looked at the different municipalities and what their regulations were and what it took to be CIIQ certified. And
that's the tourism board. You need to have a plaque on your address that you want to rent short-term.
Okay.
It's basically a permit system. And it's not easy to get. Nobody's giving them out anymore. You have to meet certain criteria everywhere. It's really hard to get. And then what we realized after a while of looking and people charging really or asking for really high prices if they already had the plaque, what we realized is if you have a neighbor that doesn't want you to be doing short-term neighbors and they start complaining to the town, your plaque is going to go away really quickly. So there's no guarantees with those tourism plaques. So we decided that it's too risky of a business to try to pursue. But we wanted to be in real estate. We thought it would be cottages, so we started looking at flips. Right.
Yeah.
But the margins were too small with the increasing prices. And we live in an area where the prices are a little high to begin with. So every place that we'd find that seemed like a good deal, the margins were just too small. And, because of COVID, the prices were going up so much. So we had the idea of flips.
So hard to get them. It was right during the COVID craze where the craze was really starting to pick up steam. And it was crazy to try and get anything, We would spend time analyzing deals. And by the time we get to the step to make an offer, it was long.
Over.
You don't have time to analyze these days.
No, it's over. It's like, what do you have? Do you have anything?
Nothing. Thin air.
Yeah, and then we did a burr at our cottage. So at one point we looked at totally chinging our lifestyle because it had gotten too crazy. It had really gotten crazy with all of the and everything. So we're like, let's sell some stuff and like simplify. So we sold the house machine, we sold the triplex downtown, and at the same time, the cottage right next to our cottage came up for sale.
Oh, cool. Good timing.
So,
and I'd already been eyeing it for a while. It was a nice old school log cabin. I was like, I'd like to have a log cabin. And then all of a sudden it was available.
The timing was right. So we bought the log cabin.
Yeah.
And Joey left his job at that time to focus on working on our places. So he fixed up that place. And without knowing it, because at this point I was still at Randstad. And at this point,
we didn't really have real estate strategy at the time.
It was just kind of like impulsive, instinctive, like this makes sense, let's do this. And it had worked well for us. But at the point where, like before we settled on the partnership model, we were trying to figure it out. And we were really changing our ideas every few days. And, it did cause a bit of tension between us because there was no clear vision, and he would send me things and I'd be like, stop getting me off focus, that's not what we decided. And and I was binging on podcasts and reading as many books as I can. Reading.
Oh my, that's good but dangerous.
So I've listened to over 30 audiobooks since November, and I can't say all the bigger podcasts, but lots.
Pretty
of them.
Close.
So at the time when he was finishing the cottage. We had bought it with cash because we had sold the other places. We were fixing it up, and we were like, we need money. Let's refine it. Let's, get a mortgage on this place.
Mm.
At this point, I was listening to the book of David Green's book on BRRRR.
Mm.
And it came to the part where he talks about the sequence of things and how important that
Yeah,
sequence is.
it's essential.
And I listened to it again and again, and I made him listen to it again. I'm like, that's what
I
we're
was like,
doing.
we're already doing it. It wasn't making sense to me. It was like, we've done this before. It's just the same thing in a different way. But then, no.
That
This
one
is
step
what
makes all the
we need
difference.
to do this more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and this is what we're doing. So we're like, this is what we're gonna do. Like, this is what we do. We're good at this. So we went to refinance the little cottage, and we only got 50% of the ARV because we hit our debt to income ratio, and we're like, because I had already left my job.
You checked everything else except your mortgage
Everything
qualification.
else. So we're like, we can't keep doing BRRRRs. We can't do more BRRRRs. We can't get mortgages.
Right.
Yeah.
So more podcasts. And then I fell on a podcast with Mandy Branham.
Mm.
And,
the JV Queen.
Mandy Branham and Andrew Hines. It was an Andrew Hines podcast. And I was like, that is what we need to do. So we listened to that a couple of times, and we're like, that's perfect. So I started finding content on JVs and partnership strategies and everything. And I fell on Dave Dubeau. So we did the Dave Dubeau day, a day with him. And like, that's what we can do. So we built our website. We got everything together, launched our Facebook page, started doing presentations to friends and family mostly. And we set a target for 5 partnership deals before the end of the year, and we did 5 in like 6 weeks.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay, congrats. Wow.
Thanks. So we have we closed on 4 properties in the past month, let's say, and we're closing 2 more in the next couple of weeks.
Nice. Congrats.
Wow.
It worked.
JVs just since you quit your job in November.
Yep. Well, since March.
Really?
Okay.
Wow. That's amazing. And are those all JVs on properties in New Brunswick?
All of them, all
4?
except one are JVs. We bought a 4-plex for ourselves just before we started the JV thing.
Mm.
And then we got a 5-plex, a 6-plex, and a bunch of duplexes in Moncton.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Wow.
Oh,
Sounds
and a
like our
duplex
portfolio.
in Trois-Rivières as well.
Yeah, Trois-Rivières is good. Trois-Rivières is good, and Moncton is good, as you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I was going to say your portfolio sounds like ours.
Yeah, it's very similar. We've been kind of eyeing Quebec a little bit because I know to us, some of the pricing seems very reasonable, but
Gatineau.
Gatineau is
is a no-brainer.
it seems like a bargain to us. Like Ottawa is at least twice the price, if not more, than Gatineau. But again, it's just the Quebec laws. Because if tenants move out, the new tenant can get the same rent as the previous, all that stuff, which scares us a little bit.
Well, it's like the landlord-tenant board in Quebec is just a notch above Ontario. And we already hate the Ontario one. So
We're like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not easy.
But I mean, again, with good tenant screening, a lot of people are very successful. I know a Gatineau investor, similar story to yours. He's now up to 310 doors in just a few years. So, I mean, and it's all Gatineau. So if he's doing it, there must be something going well. And
Absolutely. Well, it's just having good systems in place. And like you said, that's something that you guys are working on. And I think we're kind of like almost in the same spot. Like we're also like working on simplifying. Like when you said that simplifying,
yes, that's what we're talking about.
Systems. I'm like, this is like been our weekly thing.
So we got Building Stack, which is a like a property management software. So there's a payment portal because we were managing e-transfers. So there's all kinds of things you can do, and I'm sure. Well, you have property management as well. So
Yeah, we're managing everything.
Not in
Moncton.
So for the moment, we're managing the properties in Quebec.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I just took note of Building Stack. And
Yeah, it's a Montreal company. So awesome stuff. It's really cool because it communicates with the tenants. So there's like a chat. So we had like a leak, and then the tenant sent us a video through Building Stack.
That's what
And then we just swipe, send it to the plumber, and the plumber goes, and that's it. Send us the bill, and goodbye.
Yeah, and they can actually pay their rent through this application as well with their credit card. So even if they had not maybe enough money to pay rent, they can pay it with their credit card on the app.
There's bonuses. There's all kinds of things on it. Like we're just discovering it. There's even a portal to advertise your units, which we should do because we have some units coming up. Anyway, we're still getting used to it, but there's so much you can do. It's
and
nuts.
if you guys are Right Club members, you guys get a good discount. Just like saying.
50% off. It's really worth it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm a Right Club member. Maybe François, you can check that out for me. I'm on the Facebook page. Does that make me a member?
No, you have to go on the website, and all you do is create a profile.
Oh, I did
It's
that.
free. Oh, so there you go.
Yeah,
Then
so
you
you're a
are.
member.
That's all it
There you go.
is. So it's the amazing little perks of this community. And it's all about relationships. So Joey and Angela, I'm sure that's the relationships that you build. Like Angela, you were already borrowing from credit cards. So this
Yeah,
step
you already
to,
had the JV idea in mind with your friends' credit
yeah,
cards.
that's like,
Yeah, true. And I did my first JV deal with my parents, actually. And we have a duplex in New Brunswick that they live in.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
so cool.
Yeah.
What a great idea, too, to have them living in it and they're probably watching it for you to the other tenant. Everything's going well.
that's what we should
They're
have done.
really, really, really good landlords. They haven't
good.
increased the rent in 10 years.
Oh, okay. No. My mom increased her rent and stuff.
I
and
know my mom's going to be watching this. No, she loves it.
Sorry, Mom. Unless they do stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. So now you guys are doing this full time and you've kind of got the whole JV thing going. What's next for you guys? Are you guys going to be doing more JVs or are you satisfied and you're going to just take it easy and live off the proceeds?
Well, I think we needed to take a little breather because things happen pretty quickly.
I would say so.
It's been a crazy couple of months.
Yeah, it has.
So now it's not really, we're just taking a bit of a break from the crazy. We're still interested, we're still looking, we're still active, but we're not as active as we were. But yeah, no, we're still a big focus still on Moncton, not so much in Quebec anymore. Moncton is just too good of a deal right now, especially with the rental laws.
Yeah.
But, we have our eye kind of down south a little bit in the States. So potentially.
So are we Florida or
Yeah,
where?
it's him.
So where are you looking? Because there's
We
some.
both can talk about this.
I have my eye on Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Just about anywhere in Texas and Florida.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of investors. So if you may have contacts, but if you don't, I know a lot of people. And Andrew Hines is starting to do BRRRRs in Florida. So that's another area to keep an eye on. I mean, if he's doing it, something's happening there. And we're investing in Detroit, Michigan. So another kind of scary but interesting spot. We just did a video tour of our latest property there a few minutes ago.
And
And
you bought something there.
it's really cool. I was not expecting it, but anyway, it's a turnkey solution. So they painted the brick all like a grayish blue. It looks really nice. And anyway, I just didn't know because the house was like beige and then it's blue. Okay, but it looks good. So anyway.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's
It's a big step moving into the States. I mean, sky's the limit.
Well, it's great to have American dollars. I have a virtual assistant, so it's all paid in U.S. funds. So we want to build some of that U.S. money and to invest in like Costa Rica and get a house in Florida for winters. And those are like next steps. So maybe for you, you're already looking down south. So
Yeah. So I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Eventually. That's not for this year. This year, our focus is really still in Canada, but specifically Moncton. But next year, who knows?
Yeah. So the 6 that we're closing on, all of them have work to be done.
Okay.
So
we're optimizing.
We're
not
optimizing like a 6-plex that we want to go through CMHC. So we're working on getting quotes for all of these places right now. Some of the work has started on some of them. We also hired a virtual assistant, which I think is really fun.
Yeah.
And he's gathering quotes for us for a couple of these properties.
Oh, great.
It's
So-
so helpful. Like even lawn care, like, oh, call everybody. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. I mean, who has time to get 2 or 3 quotes for everything? But now you can actually do it.
And get 20 instead of 3.
I don't know where you're working to get.
Yeah, so I don't
No,
think
it's
people
been
like
so
focus
hard
on
to
it.
get anybody. Like
Yeah.
everybody's so
Yes.
busy lately. It's just, I mean, I always liked building those relationships with contractors and stuff. I worked in renovations and
Yeah.
Mhm.
facilities management for a long time, and so that's one of the things I like to do. But it's just been impossible lately. Nobody has time to even talk to you. It's just
No.
Yeah, they don't even
It
answer
is.
you.
Yeah. Like we're getting a roof done on one of our places, and the guy said, "Oh, I'll be available in like 2 months." We're like, "Oh, okay." The roof is really peeling. We need it as soon as possible.
Yeah, we had a private lender come through for us on a deal that was about to fall through, but he wanted an appraisal done. But closing date was in like a week, so we
Wow.
found an appraiser. This was in Moncton. It's a 4-plex, 2 duplexes side by side.
Oh, wow.
And the day of the appraisal, he sent us an email saying, I was in an accident and I can't go. I can only reschedule for 3 weeks from now.
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness.
Yeah. So these types of little emergencies
Can
happen
happen. Yeah.
everywhere.
on every, on
they're
every
happening
property. On every property.
On every property.
Yes.
And we just closed on 8, and it's been a crazy start to the year. It's been awesome, but it's been a little crazy.
So
Yeah,
it's
there's always-
that's it. We're letting the dust settle to make sure that everything is going to go according to plan.
Mhm.
But I know that as soon as we have that confidence that everything is in order, we'll be going, because it's like these emergencies. The blessing is that it's forced us to reach out and have discussions with people that we wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
Who specifically private lenders and people who want to do deals. So we're finding other people who we can invest with later.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
have to.
sow those seeds when the time comes, and then when you find the right property, you know who to
Yeah.
call. So
Yeah. I
Are
really
you-
hope you guys end up going to Moncton.
I'm sorry.
I really hope you guys end up going to Moncton.
Oh yes, we'll see. So how did you? How are you finding the private lenders? I guess it's like the Dave Dubois model, family and friends. But are you going beyond that, or?
Well, we only tried with family and friends just in the beginning when we went to practice our presentation.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't with the desire to
to really work
bring
with
in
them. It's
partners.
more.
Right? It was really just to like refine
warm-up.
our.
I didn't have any experience presenting a partnership
Yeah,
for real estate, so we just wanted to get to fine tune the vision.
learn about the questions and objections. I'm sure, and
Yes.
like curveballs, and then that way, when you have a serious person, then you know what to expect, and you're better
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so we did that, but we didn't follow the model in that way. So, for example, we didn't start a podcast. We didn't do any videos. We didn't do any of that. I don't know how we started doing the presentations with family and friends, but then we ended up finding partners through posting. Let's
Yeah.
say different Facebook groups.
It's
When
insane
we
what you
had a
get.
deal- Yeah, when we had a deal that we needed a partner for, or when we had financing fall through at the last minute, we had a mortgage broker 1 week before closing admit that he hadn't even submitted the file yet.
Oh,
my goodness.
wow.
And this was on a wholesale deal very close to my parents' house that I really, really wanted. This was our first, like, okay, we can go home for the summer. We can work on this property.
Yeah.
We thought we were getting one property.
Yeah,
in
well,
Moncton.
So we'll
At that
go
time.
home and we'll work on that property. And I really wanted it to happen. I knew the value was there. I knew what the property was worth, and it was a good deal. So many things happened to make that deal fall apart. And it took so much perseverance. And a week before, the guy said he hadn't submitted the file yet. And the wholesalers had a lineup of people who were knocking on their door waiting for this deal to fall through. So we were getting reminders on a regular basis what a good deal it was and how many people wanted it. So there was a bit of a scramble to find private money for that one.
But that's been the case on every property that we've purchased. Like even when we're going traditional financing on things, financing was taking a long time. Inspection was taking a long time. Appraisal is taking a long time.
Yeah.
Everything's taking
The
up
selling agent constantly picking up the phone and reminding us, hey, we have a lot of people that are willing to buy this place for cash. Like,
We
hurry up
know.
and get your stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every property was like that. It's been a dance.
So this
Oh, yeah.
specific one was pretty cool because I posted it on one of the Facebook groups. I explained the situation. The guy didn't come through for us. We need financing. Somebody reached out to me and said, I have money at Olympia Trust that's coming back today. And it's
Oh, wow.
amount.
cool.
Have my lawyer speak to your lawyer and we'll make sure this deal goes through. And it
Oh my
was
goodness.
that is pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
wow, that's a miracle.
And we've had many discussions since, and she ended up becoming a partner on one of our other deals. She
Wow.
became an actual partner on one of the other deals, not just a money lender.
partner. Ah, cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a
Yeah.
great story.
Yes.
But you know what? In real estate, you're always having to be able to pivot, turn on a dime, find
Mhm.
other solutions. Like it's just part of the game.
Yeah, and it's sometimes stressful. I'm glad to hear you guys say it because a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, we're having so much fun," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to like
Pull
not.
out my hair.
Sometimes it's not fun.
Sometimes it's
Hair,
not.
huh, Joey?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not fun, but I mean, how much fun is it when a solution comes to us?
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing more fun than that. Like you're high on life for a while after your
Oh,
problem.
I know. You're like, yes.
I find it's like going to the gym, like a hard workout. It's like sometimes it's grueling, but after you feel really good about it. So I find it similar. You suffer, and then yes, I got the deal, and no one else did, and all
Then
the
you eat a
vultures
donut.
were there. Yeah, and then you eat a donut.
Yeah.
So how are you guys finding the market in Moncton? Like we've noticed that it's getting to be drier.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we expected that to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's eyes were on Moncton, and
that's
a lot
it.
of people are still looking at Moncton, and more are looking at it each day.
And we're not helping the situation.
No,
Free
no,
parking
no.
guys all the time.
Don't go to Moncton. It's
I think
garbage.
you guys meant
Yeah.
Fredericton, right? You guys were talking about
Yeah. It was part of
Edmundston is awesome. Let's all go there. Or Toronto. Toronto seems like a hot market. We should go there. Yeah, but I mean, the more the merrier in a way. And yes, there's fewer deals. Like there used to be a lot more listings, but there's also less vacancy. So I was speaking to one of our realtors in Moncton, and he said just about 3 years ago, vacancy was quite high, like between 5 and 10%, which is way higher than right now. Like we have waiting lists. I don't know how it is for you, but for units, usually I have 2 or 3 people that call me, hey, do you have something for my friend? They don't know where to go. And
Yeah, it's amazing. And when you put something up on the Facebook group, like you just have to be ready because it's just going to be overwhelming.
yes.
Yeah, I hear that people are renting rooms. It's becoming more common to rent rooms because people can't find places to live.
Anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
surprising.
I'm a little bit worried about that situation, though. I don't want to be fueling the housing crisis.
No, which will lead to rent control and landlord and tenant boards.
Right.
But we
So
know
that's
that's
the
coming
scary
soon,
part.
soon. There's a lot of people moving there from Ontario, and
Yeah.
Quebec, and those laws are set to change pretty soon.
At some point, yes. Hopefully they don't become as stringent as here and in Quebec, because I find it's forcing people to become slumlords because you can't increase rent.
Right.
Then you can't fix things, and then it becomes bad, and it becomes a toxic relationship, and it's bad for everybody. So
Mhm.
at least in New Brunswick, what we do when we increase rent, normally we have a conversation with our tenant. Hey, we're going to increase rent, but we're going to fix things as well. So the broken window, we're fixing that. We're doing this, but it does come at a cost. So here it is, and do you want to stay? And they don't, well, they can leave. That's okay, and we'll part ways politely. In Ontario, they're just going to stay, and yeah, it's just tough. So,
Absolutely.
so just to end Wine and Real Estate tonight, do you guys have any final words of advice or some sort of wisdom you want to share with people and listeners?
I did think of something, and I wrote it down because otherwise I would have forgotten. Oh, yes. before you actually leave your job,
Yes.
read So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. Did you guys read that book?
No, I've
No.
heard about it, but wow, that sounds amazing.
So I wasn't prepared actually to describe it, but I wish I had read this book years ago. In my mind, there was always a conflict between passion and practicality, where this book kind of settles that for you and makes you realize that they can go hand in hand.
Wow.
And it makes it clear at what point you should leave your job versus and it gives examples of people who left too soon and failed and people who left at the right time and succeeded. And
That's
You need
awesome.
a plan. I mean, it's not retirement. We're not just going to sit back and like, I don't know, bake in the sun. I mean, you need to have something. And
Well, that is the end goal. I do want to make you like a nice little golden potato.
yeah,
but-
but normally you need something. If you have no goal, no mission in life after quitting, then it's hard. And finances as well. You were mentioning earlier that it's hard to get mortgages. Well, yes, because you don't have a job.
Yeah, do as we say, not as we did.
no,
Yeah.
this is the right thing.
We did the right thing ultimately, but we weren't exactly prepared.
No,
Yeah.
that's
We had
it.
a good base installed, but we kind of decided on our plan on the fly.
But
so what's the name of the book again? Sorry.
Oh, So Good They Can't Ignore You.
so
by
good.
Cal
they can't
Newport.
ignore you. Yeah.
He also wrote Deep Work, which is a very good book too,
Mm.
especially for parents. I find.
Oh yes.
Very good. Yeah, so it's amazing. That's something we want to do is read more books, which we
Ah.
haven't had time because it's been
Yes,
so insane.
I wish I could read.
Well, I
Audiobooks.
actually don't read. I
You
listen
listen.
while I'm
Yeah.
doing anything that doesn't require full attention, like driving or doing the dishes or any of that tedious stuff. And you can listen to them on fast forward, so you can consume at an accelerated pace.
1.2,
That's even
1.4.
with headphones. If you have headphones, that'd be really great, especially if you have a wife or a husband that works close by that doesn't want to be listening to that particular book on fast forward while they're talking like 10 miles a minute and you can't make sense of it.
It's like chipmunks. That's a good tip there, though, because if both of us like were retired, then that's something you have to manage as well. Both spouses at home all the time. That's a new dynamic. You're sharing the space, the sound as well. So
You guys are working together, obviously, so
Yeah.
yeah,
make that work.
cool. No,
Yeah.
that's really smart. Thank you for the book recommendation. We'll have to listen. Maybe we
Yes.
can download it and
We'll listen to the chipmunk version.
yes.
So where can people get a hold of you guys if they want to get to know
Partner
you
with
or
you.
partner with you or just find out more?
Well, our website's angelaandjoey.com.
Oh, that's cool.
Facebook is Angela and Joey /revenue properties. We're on Instagram, angelaandjoey.rei.
Oh, that's cool.
Excellent.
Perfect. They can't forget your name, Angela and Joey.
Yes, nice and simple.
Nice and easy.
We couldn't be more creative than that. It just kind of is what it is.
It made sense.
It's
We were thinking about the company names and we had some nice fancy ones. Heron Homes is a name we still kind of throw around out there, but ultimately it's us. You know?
That's just because I really like herons. I have one on my yard, and we have a shower curtain with herons on it.
Oh,
And it
cool.
means
that's cute.
prosperity. But
Yeah.
also we host this weekly meetup for real
Oh,
estate
cool.
investors. It's a virtual meetup every Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. So find the page, the Facebook page, Montreal. No, not that one. Real Estate Investors of Montreal. Real
Oh,
Estate
great.
Investors of Montreal. My friend Maggie and I host it every week. He's usually there too. And yeah, we invite anybody. Really, we talk about real estate. It's super casual. Tomorrow we have a real estate lawyer on who it will be fun to see how that dynamic changes a little bit with that different perspective.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome that you guys are doing that virtual meetup. Yes.
Yes, yeah, we'll have to tune in or join in. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And that's great. We love meeting new investors, and maybe we'll meet in person at some point.
Maybe in Moncton.
Maybe in Moncton, maybe in
Yes.
Montreal, in Ottawa, in Detroit, or Florida. Who knows? The options are endless. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your story with us tonight, and for having a drink. Our glasses are empty, but
Yes.
Oh,
I just have my rocks in them now.
yes, that's all that's left.
well, thank you for having us. It's been fun.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Yeah,
Have
I'd
a
like
good
to
night,
hang out
guys.
sometime.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Let's stay in touch and
Yes,
cheers.
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 All the best.
See ya.
Bye.